This is a painting. It's called pixel painting. But what's interesting is I know very little else about it other than the title that was in the database. And I'm going to use this to sort of explain what a curator will do when they get a picture like this, at least in my museum. And the first thing is we look for a title and a signature or anything that will help us identify it. And this apparently came with a piece of paper that said pixel painting on it. And if you look at it, it's pretty obvious a few things. One, you can see the individual picture elements. And that tells you a bit. It tells you that it was either made at a time when that was the maximum resolution available, which I really believe it is, or B, that it's someone specifically mimicking that style, which I don't think this does, because when folks have done that in the past, it's always been really evident. The interactions between the color and the grayscale portions instantly gave me an idea of what program made this, well, at least what computer. And I believe it is a paint program that was done for one of my favorite machines, the Amiga, and probably the Amiga 500. Which makes sense because we have a circa date on it of 1990 and an acquisition date of 1992. So that would mean that it's pretty early in the cycle, and doing color on the Amiga probably means it's somewhere between the late 80s to very early 90s. Now, I think of folks who are working in this medium, and there are a few names that come to mind, but none of them very significant. But one that does is actually an old-time computer pioneer named George Stibitz. And he was working on Amiga systems with various paint programs well into the 90s. So could this be one of his? He was a supporter of the museums. He did do work somewhat similar to this that I've seen. But really my point that I don't think it is that we would have said that because we would have been very proud of that fact.